I genuinely don't know what to make of this one. I mean, here we are in the year of our Jennifer Lawrence 2021 and Skyline is now a trilogy? Not Dredd, not Hellboy, not Dredd, not Amazing Spider-Man or Dredd, but Skyline? Freaking Skyline gets to be a trilogy? A little backstory for those who thought this was a standalone film, and to be honest, I don't blame you. The first Skyline, 2010, was literally shot in one of the director's flats and featured a bunch of those guys from various TV shows as they attempt to survive an alien invasion, whereupon it's clear from the first 10 minutes that this is a hopeless situation. It's actually a pretty solid little film in its own right, and I'll tell you about it sometime. Then, a mere 7 years later, we got the straight-to-DVD sequel, the original somehow got a theatrical release, Skyline 2, Skyline Harder, or Beyond Skyline as it's called in some territories, which pretty much ignored the first film completely and somehow naturally managed to go from desperately trying to survive in sewers against a seemingly unstoppable alien enemy to a Pacific Rim-style fight in the middle of some Vietnamese temples, followed by something that might be a space battle if you squint hard enough. It's a fun ride. And then in 2020 we get Skylines, and where the first two at least tried to do something slightly different and overcame the fact that they had the type of budget normally associated with a coming-of-age indie designed to be seen by 4 actual people and 8 million award circuit judges, Skylines just doesn't. Instead, we get a fairly generic recover the thing before the time runs out plot, unimaginative characters, pointless subplots, and where the first film had people's brains being ripped from their skulls and then uses them to run huge, heavily armoured drone warriors called pilots, the sequel sees an infant infected with alien DNA and growing into a child with powers over the aliens just in time to help the survivors fight off newer, more eye-popping threats. Every development along the way in the first 2 films was imaginative, unexpected, and gleefully over-the-top violent, so it feels strange that the series Kappa Skylines is so conventional in both its story beats and its action. It's like your friend who used to be the centre of every party has turned up after a few years away and quietly asked for a Diet Coke. And it's not like this film doesn't have any potential on its own merits. Earth is like a mixture of District 9 and aliens. If the aliens were human brains trapped inside alien suits that everyone just accepts as a fact of life. Anyway, a new virus has emerged which threatens to send all the pilots back to their default kill all the human settings, and for some reason the best way to cure it and save what little remains of the actual human race is to go to the aliens' home planet and nick something of theirs. This is not a war, it's a heist, as one piece of cardboard says to another. Now, that's several very, very solid plots there. Imagine a film about being a police officer in this world, desperately trying to keep the peace, or a pilot trying to retain their humanity in these impossible circumstances. And even if we are going with the heist on an alien planet plot, could you at least have some aliens on the alien planet? Loads of good ideas there. No, the alien planet is completely deserted, apart from one alien left over, I think, from an old episode of Flash Gordon.
Gordon's alive?
Which is a shame because we've never really seen the actual aliens from this franchise. They've always been hidden from view behind their drones, and I suppose I should be thankful that this film did remember that practical effects are always better than CGI, even if at times the fight choreography did remind me of an old episode of Power Rangers, and the sets as well, which is a shame, but the film does move quickly enough that you're never really allowed to dwell on any particular flaw. It's also a shame that everyone's so generic. They literally get a one-line introduction each and then we're off to the races, that when they die it's less a case of I can't believe that Hicks just died, more than I wonder what would happen when the ticking clock above that person's head reached 0, which is a little annoying as some of the token character moments were actually quite sweet and would have been affecting in a less generic flick. Oh, and the film's secondary subplot of a doctor trying to contain an outbreak of aliens reverting to their basic kill all human subplot either needed to be greatly expanded or cut completely, and I'm genuinely not sure which. Oh, and also, if you haven't mapped out the entire plot by about 30 minutes in, then hi, welcome to the wonderful world of films. Let me know why you picked this one to start watching, and allow me to suggest some better ones than this drock. Because Skylines isn't bad per se, it's perfectly functional in its own mediocre little way. The aliens look good, the script's fine, the action's solid, it doesn't outstay its welcome. It's just dull and predictable. There's nothing here you can't see done elsewhere and better. Incursions on an alien planet, aliens, humans being forced to live in an uneasy peace with aliens, District 9 just can't be beat. Alas though, this is the sad ending to such a unique and beautiful butterfly of a franchise that actually could have had a lot of mileage in it. I mean, this is one of the few alien invasion films where the aliens invade Earth for a resource unique to Earth. as opposed to something found throughout the solar system like water or silicon. And there's a lot of stories that could come from it. Or if this was to be the last one, then go all out with what the aliens can do, or what we've learned to do from them. Or if you're going to have a heist on that planet, then at least make it slightly more interesting than this. In the end, sadly, I think that you should skip it. But what do you guys think? And if you could finish any cinematic trilogy, what one would it be? Comment below, let me know. I'm Daniel, it's been Duncan. If you've enjoyed this video, please like, share and subscribe.